rankings. Be honest. If you know boxing, be honest. There's levels.
In the show, bro. The show.
Good he looks.
He's very sharp. That's all I can.
Dangerous.
Very dangerous. Don't look like he's a 46.
He looks like he's 36 or 26.
Yeah.
Gervonta Davis is left speechless after witnessing Manny Pacquiao's incredible training for the upcoming Barrios fight. Despite his age, Pacquiao displays lightning-fast speed and explosive power, looking like an absolute beast in the gym. His intense footwork and razor-sharp punches make it clear he's nowhere near finished and is gearing up to dominate once more. Manny Pacquiao's teammates shared that during sparring, he looked as sharp and explosive as ever. According to them, he hasn't lost a step and still trains with the same fire he had in his prime. One teammate mentioned that Manny went 8 intense rounds without showing any signs of fatigue, maintaining his speed, power, and pinpoint accuracy the entire time. His movements were crisp, and his punches landed with perfect timing. They were genuinely amazed at how fresh and energized he remained, even after such demanding sessions. To them, Pacquiao isn't just keeping up. He's setting the pace and proving he's still a force to be reckoned with.
Everybody is surprised, so it's gonna be a good fight.
What's the most impressive? His speed, his power, his footwork?
It's everything, because you don't see him slow down. People say he's slowing down, but he's not. I mean, that's where you're exactly going to be surprised, because he's sharp, really, to be honest with you. Very, very sharp. That's why I don't want to say anything else, but...
No, leave it at that.
You know.
But how...
I live it that way, but...
Okay, so let me ask you this. In 11 days, he steps into the ring at the MGM in Las Vegas to fight Mario Barrios.
Yeah.
How does the fight end?
There's a chance of knockout.
Manny,
I can see that.
You can see a knockout?
I'm not going to say what round, but...
Just that Manny wins either way, knockout or decision.
Yeah. I don't think decision. Maybe. The decision is kind of... I don't know if it's going to distance, really, because the way
Manny's that explosive.
Everything is, I don't know.
Okay, now let's talk about his son, Jim, for a second. How talented is his son?
He's a very good fighter. You know, he's
Good
going
power.
there.
I've seen him knock people out.
Yeah, he's but power. He have, you know, but right now he's still, you know, we want him to grow more. You know, so to be ready. Actually, he's ready already. So we just want it to work in silence, and we keep it down.
What's your message to all Pacquiao fans who are watching this, who are getting ready, who are excited for Manny Pacquiao Barrios July 19, Las Vegas?
Tune in to this coming fight, because it's gonna be a very good fight.
Don't go to the kitchen. Don't go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Don't look at your phone.
Yes,
because it can happen.
Focus on that, because I know Mario Barrios also is training hard too. Manny also, he trained like there's no...
Roy Jones Jr. has voiced complete confidence in Manny Pacquiao's ability to capture another world title in his comeback. Despite doubts surrounding Pacquiao's age and time away from the ring, Jones believes his relentless work ethic, vast experience, and warrior spirit give him a clear edge. He describes Pacquiao as a rare breed of athlete who thrives on defying expectations. According to Jones, the Filipino icon still possesses the tools, discipline, and champion's mindset needed to compete and win at the highest level. The hunger Pacquiao displays in training, Jones says, is proof that he's not returning for spectacle, but for true, serious competition.
I would not be able to take credit for beating Pacquiao after he got knocked out by Marquez, because that's not the same Pacquiao.
Of course.
That's not the Pacquiao at the top of his game. But in society today, we'll call that person the best fighter ever.
Of course.
When that's not how that goes. That's not reality. But in the business world, it is, because look how much money he made.
Here we go! who's greater than me? I said, Sugar Ray Robinson. He said, Sugar Ray Robinson? How many wins he got? I said, he got like over 150 wins. He stopped for a minute. He said, but who got more championship titles? Me or him? I said, hold on, Floyd. He said, answer the question. I said, Floyd, there's more titles now than then. There was just one then. That's no fair. Answer the question. I said, okay, you. Do I not have 28 titles? And I was just like, I don't know. He said, oh, you're supposed to be the expert. But the reason why I said that is because there's minor and major titles. Who else greater than me? I said, Henry Armstrong, Roberto Duran. He said, oh my God. He said, you said something about Pacquiao. Yeah, I said, I think you'll beat Pacquiao every day of the week, but I think he had a greater career. He said, you ain't think Pacquiao was on steroids? I said, he didn't fail any tests, Floyd. He said, look at me in my eyes. I can't say, man, he didn't fail. He said, oh man, you failed. I saw that as a initiation. This is what you about to get. Nobody's greater than Floyd. My thing is, he should feel that way, but you can't expect everybody to feel that you're the greatest.
Mario Barrios has made it clear that while he deeply respects Manny Pacquiao outside the ring, that respect ends the moment the fight begins. He acknowledges Pacquiao's legendary career but sees him purely as a challenger trying to take his title. Barrios stressed that once the bell rings, there will be no room for sentiment. He'll approach Pacquiao like any other opponent standing in his way. His words reflect a focused and determined mindset, showing that he's not letting Pacquiao's legacy distract him from the goal, defending his belt at all costs.
You know, ever since the fight was announced, I think initially I was kind of just like shocked. Like, man, dude, like Pacquiao wants to fight me, right? He wants to fight me for my title. You know, I think for the sport of boxing and I think just sports in general, like Manny is that name. When you think about boxing, right? He's somebody that comes to mind. At least for me, like I've been watching him since I was. Again, since my earliest memories of boxing, Manny has been a name that's like, okay, like he's the man. And yeah, you know, now he wants to come out of retirement. He wants to fight me for my title. I can't look at it as anything other than, you know, it's just another opponent trying to take what's mine. You know, he's outside the ring. I have, you know, nothing but respect for him, nothing but respect for everything he's accomplished. For the person he is, you know, everything he does, you know, for his country and more. But as soon as we step in the ring, you know, he's in there trying to take what's mine. I'm not training with the mentality, you know, that I'm getting ready, you know, to fight an icon, fight a legend. At the end of the day, he's just another man, you know, trying to fight for my title. He's going in there trying to, you know, take my title, and I got to do whatever it takes to make sure he.
Brian Mendoza has openly praised Manny Pacquiao's greatness, but remains grounded about the potential impact of age in this matchup. He acknowledges that while Pacquiao's speed and instincts still appear sharp, no fighter is immune to the effects of time. Mendoza points out that even the most skilled veterans can face physical limitations, especially in the later rounds of a high-stakes bout. His analysis serves as both respect and caution, recognizing Pacquiao's legendary talent, while also reminding fans that aging fighters often struggle to sustain peak performance throughout the full course of a demanding fight.
This is an unbiased opinion. Man, I'm looking forward to it, you know, even just as a boxing fan, you know, obviously coming up, it was always, you know, seeing Pacquiao's fights and stuff, and now to see the homie, you know, going up against him like that, it's wild, man. It's a wild feeling. I know even more so for him, but nah, man, I just think at the end of the day, I feel like, you know, the age will show up in the fight. I think at first, you know, he's had people talk about the layoff, but it's also a rest for someone at that age. So I feel like he's going to be rested. I feel like we might see, you know, hints of little old Manny, no pun intended, the old Manny. Little bits of flashes of that in there, but I think at the end of the day, man, Mario's super sharp. This is the sharpest I've ever seen him, you know, this far in camp. I'm super excited, bro, and he's gonna put on a great show. I still kind of lean towards like a decision, but regardless, it's Mario's way. If there is a stoppage, I think it'll be in like the second half. Like I said, you know, because I think that's really when the age is gonna show. Because you can look good in the gym, man, but once those bright lights are on you, anything that's wrong will come out. So as much of a legend man he is, I think, you know, he bit off a little more than he can chew with ball.
Despite doubts about his age, many fans remain confident that Manny Pacquiao's natural talent and ring IQ are still very much alive. His recent training footage has reignited hope among supporters who believe he still has the strength, explosiveness, and sharpness to hold his own against younger fighters. These fans argue that Pacquiao's trademark unorthodox angles, tireless stamina, and relentless pressure have always set him apart, and those traits don't just disappear with time. the buzz surrounding his return is fueled by belief in his ability to adapt, evolve, and power through with the same fierce determination that made him a legend.
Returns to the ring against a young fighter, champion WBC, Mario Barrios. How do you see that fight playing out?
Barrios is a tall guy, and he's a tough guy. You know, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because Pacquiao is champion, the holder of the records of 8 divisions, and he knows how to fight, he knows how to win, so you always got to give it that opportunity for him to show up. And now whoever shows up in that ring, whether it's a desire to win or just try to be there, that's a question that we have to see. But I believe that he has the ability to do something to win the fight against.
Analysts agree that Manny Pacquiao's best path to victory lies in launching an aggressive yet calculated attack right from the opening bell, acknowledging that stamina could become an issue in the later rounds. Many suggest he should aim to dictate the pace early and use his trademark speed to put Barrios on the back foot. By asserting control in the opening rounds, Pacquiao can build momentum and minimize the risk of fatigue setting in. The strategy hinges on exploiting Barrios' slower adjustments while steering clear of prolonged exchanges that could sap his energy and give his opponent an opening.
I was talking to somebody about Manny coming back fighting Mario Barrios. Ouch. And this was the analogy I gave. Your timing is just, it slows down. That's time. Time slows you down. And so, to me, I think Manny has to come out very strong, very fast in the first couple of rounds because his gas tank ain't what it used to be. At 46 years old, you come out and let's just say hypothetically your gas is half full at 46 years old. I'd rather try to use that half tank
when I got something
in 2 or 3 rounds. Yeah. And really get off on this kid because he has the kind of style. Styles make fights. He's got the perfect style for Manny to do what he do. But the further that fight goes, the more that's gonna go down. He ain't young no more when it does this. It ain't gonna do this no more. It ain't gonna go down and then come back up. He not gonna create space, take a deep breath, and that thing shoot up the way it used to. He ain't gonna.
Questions about Mario Barrios' pedigree continue to surface, particularly given that he's been stopped by opponents who arguably don't match the power and speed Pacquiao still brings to the ring. While Barrios is considered a solid fighter, analysts point out that he has yet to truly prove himself against top-tier competition. This presents a potential opportunity for Pacquiao to capitalize, especially if he sets a fast pace and draws Barrios into exchanges where experience and pressure could tilt the fight in his favor. Many believe this is a very winnable bout for Pacquiao, as long as he remains disciplined and sticks to a smart, aggressive game plan.
Barrios, bro. Who do you like?
It's hard to know, at the age of Pacquiao, what we're going to get from him, But I'll tell you this. Depending on his conditioning, right? Depending on how much he can pop in on that instep that he brought to me, that notorious fast instep, if he can pop in that instep, and if Pacquiao can get in, I know he can hurt Mario Barrios. Defense of Mario Barrios is still suspect. He is willing to get caught. You can catch the kid. He's not hard to find.
Some analysts firmly believe that if age weren't a factor, Manny Pacquiao would be the clear favorite in this matchup. Even now, they argue his fundamentals remain strong, and his boxing IQ is still leagues ahead of most fighters. They contend that if Pacquiao can produce the high volume, fluid movement, and precise footwork that defined his prime, the odds swing heavily in his favor. Much of the buzz around his comeback centers on his condition during training and sparring, where, according to those close to his camp, he's been displaying remarkable sharpness. His combinations are crisp, his footwork is swift, and he's reportedly gone multiple rounds without showing signs of fatigue, all while staying mentally dialed in.
Are you cool with Pacquiao against Mario Barrios?
I am. I'm cool with it. If I was cool with Manny Pacquiao coming back and fighting Keith Thurman, I'm definitely going to be cool with this one. Barrios is not a puncher. Thurman was one of the biggest punchers in boxing. I think he's going to be just fine with Mario Barrios, who we know what he is on the top level. He comes up short. He's been stopped by fighters that are less than Manny Pacquiao, Tank Davis. So I like this fight. I think he's not going to be an overwhelming favorite, but I think it'll be a 50-50 fight, regardless of his inactivity and age. His explosiveness, even at this age, his greatness, and the fact that you can never know what Barrios you're going to get. And yeah, man, I like this fight. Why not? Nostalgia, marketable. Everyone will be behind him. It'll be internationally successful. I'm in.
How are you comparing Pacquiao coming back this summer at 46 after not fighting in 5 years to Pacquiao in 2019 fighting Keith Thurman, which came after back-to-back wins over Lucas Batiste and Adrian Broner? Those two scenarios could not be more.
Paulie Malignaggi has raised concerns about Manny Pacquiao's ability to sustain his performance across a full-length fight. While he acknowledges Pacquiao's elite level of preparation, Malignaggi cautions that age inevitably affects recovery and endurance. He points out that even the most conditioned older fighters often face challenges in the later rounds, where stamina, reflexes, and leg strength are crucial. Still, Malignaggi concedes that Pacquiao is a rare exception, an athlete whose unique talent and mental toughness might allow him to defy the usual rules of aging in the ring.
So former 8 division world champion, now Hall of Famer, Manny Pacquiao is now gearing up to take on welterweight champion Mario Barrios. And this is going to be an interesting fight. Now, I see a lot of people talking about Pacquiao saying that he's a former shell of himself, which he probably is. But make no mistake, 60% Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat on a lot of these young guys. Now, people are talking about Mario
Barrios has pointed out that many legendary fighters have struggled when trying to outrun the effects of time, and he believes Pacquiao could face a similar fate, especially if the fight stretches into the later rounds. He emphasizes that youth and endurance are on his side, and history has shown that aging icons often get caught when they least expect it. There's a growing belief among critics that Pacquiao may no longer possess the same knockout power he once did. While he might still land clean and accurate shots, some argue that Barrios' youth and toughness could enable him to absorb the damage and keep going. In their view, Pacquiao will need more than just sharp timing. He'll need sustained, fight-ending power to close the show early.
What do you think about, Manny's decision and obviously getting thrown right into a title shot?
When you get older, your legs are not the same. You may have very good legs for a few rounds, but as you drag out a long fight, your legs start to betray you. I felt that later in my career. I would get into shape, but now all of a sudden, around 10, 11, 12, my legs are dragging ass, bro. Pacquiao, having not fought in a while, 46 years old. A lot of tough fights, a lot of wear and tear on Manny Pacquiao. But Manny had 70+ pro fights. And he wasn't a defensive specialist. A lot of impact, a lot of back and forth impact. He's 46, he had a lot of heavy wear and tear into his late 30s and early 40s. So how are his legs gonna be? That's my biggest thing, because I think, Manny was a range-changing fighter. He was he was that style, in and out. He's not a pocket guy. And an in and out guy needs his legs, and needs his legs the whole fight. Unless he lands something big. I will say, I think Mario Barrios. I think he.
Interestingly, even Barrios' own trainer has offered a cautionary perspective on Manny Pacquiao's return. He warns that dismissing Pacquiao's inactivity as a weakness could be a critical mistake. According to him, there's a strong possibility that Pacquiao has remained in shape behind the scenes, quietly training and preserving his physical condition during his time away from the spotlight. This could actually make him more dangerous. His body well-rested.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is official. Manny Pacquiao will actually be fighting Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title. If this man comes back and beats Barrios, which, if I'm being totally honest, I don't think he's winning this fight even remotely. I think he could actually get stopped, in my opinion. It's not because Manny's not great or nothing. He's one of the greatest of all time. You could argue that he is the greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying? 8th division champion. But he's just too old, man. This man is 46 years of age. If he wins this fight, he ties Bernard Hopkins' record for the oldest champion in boxing. That would be crazy. But if I'm being honest, I just don't see him winning. I see him getting stopped, dropped and stopped, if I'm being honest. He is having trouble with Ampo, bro. And Ampo not even a boxer. He a kickboxer. And, yeah, I just don't think he'll, I just think he's too old, if I'm being honest. I just think he's too old to win the title. But let me know what y'all think down below, man.
Covered and possibly sharper than ever. The trainer suggests that Pacquiao's recent performances indicate he never truly left the sport. However, not everyone is on board with the comeback.
So Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title is being targeted for late July in either San Antonio or Las Vegas on Amazon Prime. And Pacquiao is currently in a Senate campaign in the Philippines in May, but after that he wants to return in the summer for a world title and try to break his own record as the oldest welterweight champion at 46 years old. Now I have every issue in the world with this. Manny Pacquiao, he's my favorite fighter of all time, but this is just not great for boxing. Pacquiao's last fight was 4 years ago in 2021 against Jordanis Ugas, and in that fight he looked a lot slower, not as explosive, and he got outboxed. And then last year when he was targeting the Barrios fight, he had an exhibition against a kickboxer, Rukia Anpo first, and he looked even slower and even more hittable in that fight. I don't think Pacquiao should be sanctioned to fight a world title fight at 46 years old, and not that Barrios is some scary knockout artist or a pound-for-pound level talent. If there's one champ at 147 that Pacquiao could upset, it would be Barrios. But in all likelihood, Barrios being the younger, bigger guy, he's just going to beat Manny for 12 rounds, probably stop him late. So I just don't want to see the fight. Pacquiao's accomplished everything in the sport. He really doesn't need another fight at 46.
Critics argue that reviving the careers of retired legends for big paydays can backfire, damaging their legacy and sending the wrong message about the sport's direction. They emphasize that Pacquiao has already secured his place among the all-time greats and has nothing left to prove. From that viewpoint, stepping back into the ring, especially against a younger, active opponent like Barrios, carries the risk of overshadowing an otherwise flawless legacy. That wraps up today's video.